Well, when it comes to those who are my mentors, of course, I have quite a number of them before I came into the ordained ministry. But in the last 20 years, I think I've stick to our present bishop and chief shepherd in this diocese, the Most Reverend Dr. J.O. Akinfenwa. But before him, some of those who actually were calling on me to come into the ordained ministry then, that I rebuffed, beginning with late Venerable Isaac Oluwagbele, who was then Ogungbele. He was one of those who were calling on me to come into the ordained ministry. Same for Right Reverend Professor Matthew Oshunade, former Bishop of Ogbomoso. He also, because I serve as PCC secretary to these people that I talk about, including the present Bishop of Osun Diocese, the Right Reverend Dr. Funsho Babatunji. I serve as their PCC secretary, and I looked up onto them when they were serving in our church. They were people that I love to emulate, and then by the grace of God, I was a licensed evangelist in the diocese. So I look up onto them. I enjoyed staying around them. We were like families. Then another person was or happens to be the Right Reverend Dr. Cornelius Oluwadare Adagbada, who, when he became the Archdeacon of Nolinde in 1999, because before then he was our chaplain as a member of the Anglican Youth Fellowship. He was our chaplain right from 1987 or thereabouts, and we went to places together for evangelism, for missions. So when he now got to St. Stephen's Nolinde, which was our Archdeaconry then, because Ekotedo, the church where I grew up from, happens to be under St. Stephen's Nolinde. So he said, you this boy. I said, you should come into the ordained ministry. I said, I was not interested. Why? Because I would not want to be tied down by anybody at that time, because it was believed that when you come into the ordained ministry, then you are going to live a regimented life. You will not have your own freedom. You cannot even preach freely the gospel as you love to do. It was believed then that whatever you have to preach as sermon, some people have to vet it, and so it was something I was not interested in. And then one day, as an evangelist, we went to dedicate one of the churches in the rural area under Nolinde Archdeaconry, which was a church being sponsored by Ekotedo at that time, St. Bartholomew's Alajata. That happens to be the church. So His Grace came to dedicate that church. I was also there. And then Right Reverend Dr. Cornelius Adagbada was now telling His Grace that, Your Grace, this is the young man I told you about, but he said you don't know him. And Baba said that day, well, he may think that I didn't know him, but I know him too well. And that was the beginning. Somehow my spirit connected with that of His Grace, and the process of coming into the ordained ministry started. I must say that the first cassock that I ever had in my life was given to me by the Right Reverend Dr. Funsho Babatunji, who was the vicar of our church at that point in time. So that was how Baba, our present bishop, became somebody I admire, and as time goes on, I became one of those who were put in charge of the diocesan power vigil, and that made us to connect. Then at that point in time, the Venerable Joseph Olani Iworola, now retired, was the chairman of the power vigil of the diocese, where we had the likes of now Venerable Abiodun Bolaji and now Very Reverend Shola Obaleye, who are also part of it. And that was how I came into that group, and that, got me closer to our Bishop Baba, the Most Reverend Dr. Joseph Olatunji Akinfenwa. And ever since then, I look up unto him. He's been my mentor, and by the grace of God, we are glad to associate with him, with his family, and his ministry. Thank you. Well, when you talk about discrimination, I wouldn't know whether it's just the human nature to discriminate against people. It's like you see that everywhere. Among the footballers, the black ones that operates in the European leagues, you hear them being discriminated against. You hear something like racism. And when it comes to discrimination, even in the home, in families, you find out that the parents might be discriminating, loving one child against the rest. Not many people will be quick to forget what transpired between Isaac, Rebecca, Esau, and Jacob. Those things were fallouts of discrimination at the family level. So when it comes to the ministry, of course, there is no way you won't come across such. But you see, like I mentioned earlier, that when I was coming into the ministry, God told me that you are going there to complement and not to compete. So he made me to know that I shouldn't try to be like anybody. I should just be who he has made me. So ever since, I don't like to copy anyone. I don't like to be like anybody. Even though I may like some people the way they minister and so on and so forth, but I wait on God to let me be myself so that I will not be like anyone. So even when I'm discriminated against, one thing is that it doesn't take anything out of me, and I don't react negatively to any kind of discrimination, because I know human beings being what we are, we will have our preferences. Even if 2-3 people are serving under the same priest or the same vicar or the same archdeacon, the archdeacon might decide to prefer to relate with one than the other. So it doesn't take anything out of me. I see it as one of those things that will happen in life, and then life goes on. And I don't hold it against anybody. Not at all. That is not my kind of person. Thank you. All right. Well, when it comes to godfatherism, one cannot shy away from the fact that they talk about it, one hears about it, but one thing is that I have not experienced it as a person. And there is nobody who have actually told me these are the godfathers of whoever. But we hear that it is in operation. But I can confidently say that on my part, I don't know of any godfatherism. I only believe in one thing, that wherever you are, whether in the secular or in the ministry, of course, you are expected to be up and doing in whatever is committed into your hands. And in some cases, when some are given assignments, whether in the secular or in the ordained ministry, and they do it well, the leader may probably have soft spots or be endeared to such people who always carry out whatever assignment they are given, carry it out well, and always do it well. Maybe when such leaders are now showing some preference for such follower, some people might tend to call it godfatherism. If that is what they refer to as godfatherism, then may I say that there is no way that that can be avoided, because anyone who works well, who is doing well, is expected to somehow be awarded, though I will not call it reward as such, because I believe that it is only God that can reward everything that we are doing. Sometimes you may even think that you measure up, and God will say, no, on my scale, you score 0. So we cannot continue to compare ourselves by ourselves. Paul says, those who does that, he said they are unwise. So we are not comparing with anybody, but then when a leader sees that somebody who commits anything into his hands is doing well, he may be, given some preference in some things, and people will call it godfatherism. But I don't think, on my part, that is godfatherism. It is just reward of hard work, in quotes, because it is being said that the reward for hard work is more work. And the more work you are given and you continue to do it well, definitely you will endear yourself to whoever is your leader. So if that is what is happening across, that it is not just that somebody not doing anything, but being given appointments and so on and so forth, even in the secular world, that may be that it is favoritism and not godfatherism again, if you may allow me to put it that way. It may mean that that person is being favored above some other person. But like I said, godfatherism, it has not happened to me. If it is happening to some people. Thank you. Well, that's a very serious question. I must say that all through our ministry, in training, we have always been told that there is no way you can see two churches that are exactly the same. So in most cases, the system that works somewhere may not work elsewhere. By the grace of God, we have worked in about 8 churches in this diocese since we came into the ordained ministry. And you find out that God has been helping us because, one, when we receive the letter of posting to anywhere, what my wife and I will first do is to seek the face of God and ask God, what is He asking us to go and do there? When we started rising, after asking God, we also go to the bishop. What do you expect from us in that station? So sometimes the bishop will say, just go and do your work as the Lord leads you. Some other times he will say 1 or 2 things, see to this, see to this, see to that. So that has always been the way we approach any posting ever since we have come into the ordained ministry. And God is helping us not because we are better off than anyone else, but we, like you said, we always meet with open doors because we also make our doors open wherever we go. As an ordained minister, it has dawned on me that our members are actually our immediate family. So if we don't have a good relationship and rapport with our members, before our blood relations will come, they will be the first that we're going to see. We pray that no evil happens to anybody, but usually in times of sorrow and in times of joy, you find out that your church members are the first to come around, and so we see them as part of our lives, we see them as part of our family, and up till tomorrow, even the first church where we serve, we still have people that we relate together, that visit us, and they've not forgotten our ministry in their midst. Every church we have served, that has been the story. Thank you very much.